All right, I believe we are on live. At least I got a signal here. So, let me get my headset back on. We are live right now. And if and when you come on, you should check my mic. Okay. All right. Well, it says I'm here. I'll double check it through my phone as you all come on. Yay! That's why I had to put this one up, the second one, which was my channel, and then uh, Facebook. I don't like to go live on Facebook because I don't know if I could have it on there all the time. You know, it only lasts for 30 days. So here it's in the system forever. I hope you're doing well. Um, I cannot broadcast on Instagram. Now, I've been doing it for over, what, a year or two. And now they're telling me I need 1,000 followers. I have 827 or 823 followers. So I need 127 more people. But in the meantime, I'm thankful that I could do this. Um, this is Clear Blue Radiance, and this is a golden opportunity to share this information that's metaphysical and spiritual all at the same time. And for anybody that's tuning in, other than yourself, I know usually Corey's in here at some point hiding out. No, if you're in there, Corey, you're not hiding. But she's here listening and other people. And so here's this opportunity to share all this information that I have been accumulating for so long time, much a long time. And it's great to release it. And today's topic, I believe I'm going to talk more on it. As you know, it comes from this book here, which is Seven Amazing Pathways to Connect, Activate, and Communicate with Your Higher Self, which is Radiant Heart. And I'm glad that I wrote this book and put it into practice last year or so that people know that they could use this material. And it's important that we use everything that we find in books. There are so many patterns of behavior that are in the world today, and I'm going to use a variation from page 44 in my book called Golden White Light Meditation before we close this out, because I want it to be recorded, and it's important that this information about the higher self is out there. The other reason for teaching about the higher self now more often, other than just in a book form, is for all of us to realize some very important parts about ourselves. And our higher self is the man, is the woman on the planet. Everybody has one. So wherever people might find themselves, doesn't matter what culture, what civilization, what race, everybody has one. However, through the higher self, everybody can make the right choice if they so choose to live in agreement as the higher self on earth. Now, many people don't want to do that. We're seeing it right now. People are have been acting out for some time. It's not just in this past year. This has been going on for centuries. People acting out, all kinds of people. So today's topic is your higher self resides in your heart and your subconscious mind. Your higher self, hey Holly, my man Holly Hemmett. Your higher self resides in your heart and your subconscious mind. I am a not just a firm believer of that truth statement right there, but we all have to activate our ancestors. We all have to activate our ancestors and more. So if you have connections to angelic vibrations, activate it. Activate your awareness of it. If you have your connection to nature spirits, activate it. Don't let it just sit there. Because the longer it sits, the harder it gets to kick it into motion. It's like a car that's been sitting in someone's garage forever and is gaining rust from the weather and the humidity in one's garage. So you can imagine if someone had, let's say, a 1967 Corvette and it hasn't been driven in at least 30 years, but it's been sitting there. Now, the only reason it would work is because a individual who owns that car would take it out of the shed, drive it out of the garage at least once a week, right? Why? Because they need to keep those engine parts oiled up and moving. And when there's wear and tear from rust and nature, then they can change those parts. In other words, they can upgrade it a little bit so that it's working. A car is not going to work if it's been sitting in a garage 40 years and hasn't been moved. It may crank up a little bit, but hey, the oil in there is no good. The gas that's sitting there is rotting the tank out. So the gas would have to be taken out, perhaps, and maybe the oil change has to happen. The oil filter, all of that, the transmission, all of that has to be changed in order to make sure that car is working. So it's the same with ourselves. We're going to have to change. Now, we've been doing it bit by bit, step by step. There used to be an old uh, Abbott and Costello movie where Costello, who was actually born in New Jersey, in Paterson, New Jersey, there's an actual statue of him in the Paterson Park, one of the parks in Paterson. There's a statue of him. But he always used to say, step by step. Now, Reverend Ike used to say, inch by inch. So we can make these steps and we can make these changes become very dynamic, and we can make these changes work to our advantage if we start now. We don't have to wait until the weekend. We don't have to wait until next week. Now is the time to practice these principles, bring forth these virtuous parts of ourselves out into the atmosphere. Nobody's going to know that your higher self is here if you don't activate it. People can assume it, that you have it, that you are connected, but they're not going to really know until you activate it. Now, I've been a part of different communities, yoga communities. I was a part of a solar rejuvenation community, and we were doing things like, bringing the vibration of the sun out. And I can still do it today. But if I'm not doing it and directing it into a proper format, into a proper avenue, into a proper area, it's just wasting time. And the reason I would say that because many people in there, and it was just an ego thing. And many people have, stepped off from the leaders, have stepped off on their own. But still, if you're not making that connection, drawing it into the earth through your body, into nature, into the world, you're really wasting time and energy because you're not utilizing the skills. That's like somebody learning the martial arts to fight with, to protect themselves with, or a person is in the gym learning how to box but never applies it. Well, there might be a time when they can because they're not supposed to be the aggressor. They're not supposed to be the attacker. It used to be that old phrase from many neighborhoods: don't start nothing and it won't be nothing because you're taught to finish it, right? You're not taught to be the victim. You're taught to give it your best fight. So it is the same in the occult world, occult sciences. It is same in understanding metaphysical and spiritual practices. is to make these things applicable to your life. If we can't make them applicable to our life, even if it means to keep ourselves calm and not to worry so much, even if it means that we can have this internal conversation with God and Goddess energy on the inside, because we have to. So before I get too deep, I don't want to sound like I'm preaching, but let me step a little forward here. With this topic, your higher self resides in your heart and your subconscious mind. As I've been alluding to, I feel that many of us have been on the path of self discovery and self recovery. So, those of us who are new to these teachings, right, it's discovering yourself. For those of you who have been on the path for 5, 6, 7, 8 years, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, or like myself, over 50 years, it's about recovering the essence of who you are and to be able to absorb that and to put it into motion. It's not only knowing the path of self discovery and self recovery for many years now. It doesn't matter whether you find yourself. It doesn't matter if you find yourself on a traditional spiritual path. So many things over the past 30 years are now traditional spiritual paths. Yoga is one of them. The practice of Tai Chi Chuan is another. Guys that served in World War II and the Korean Wars and those other wars, Vietnam and all those things. Many of those guys came back with some martial arts skills. They didn't have them when they left. They learned them from being in Okinawa, Japan, from being in China, from being in the Philippines. They were supposed to come across these master teachers and their students and begin to acquire all of this knowledge. So you hear somebody say, "Well, I'm a student of Kempo karate." That's Japan. If you hear somebody say, "I'm Ishinru," that's Japan. If you hear somebody say Gojuru, that's Japan. If you hear somebody say Hapkido, Korean. Taekwondo, Korean. If you hear somebody say, "Well, I'm a student of Aikido," that's a blend of Japanese jujitsu and Chinese arts. And then you hear somebody say Tai Chi Chuan, and someone tell you they've studied Shaolin Kung Fu, Shaolin Southern style, which is all leg technique and being on the floor, and Shaolin Northern style, that's standing upright and using your upper body and your throws from your hip and so forth. All of these have their regions, but all martial arts will tell you, where does it originally come from? And they tell you, go back to Akibula. That's where it originated from. And those who are the longtime masters and the longtime students know that truth. They know that's where it comes from. Now, many people may not know, it doesn't mean they're bragging, but that's where it actually comes from. That's the known history of something being recorded in combat. So there are many traditions. And then there's the non traditions. The non traditions are things that you have not seen before in a traditional setup. That's non tradition. Non tradition means it doesn't belong to a specific older branch or older school of study. It's non traditional because the individual that had implicated it received it from a higher source, just like the people in the traditional forms had. But here's the thing. Here's the thing you want to realize is that just because it is non-traditional does not mean it doesn't work. I'll say that again. Just because it is labeled as non-traditional studies, non-traditional metaphysical, spiritual, and occult teachings, does not mean that it doesn't work. but it's left up to the individual to be able to teach the principles and the applications, and for the students to study the philosophy of these things and to live from the philosophical teachings itself. Then they have a better understanding how to apply what they know. And I used to be in I think it was in the Moorish temple, one of the teachers says, your wisdom and your understanding comes from not what you read, it becomes from your wisdom. How much of the spiritual laws do you actually realize that they are spiritual laws, and can you apply them? In other words, can you apply it to yourself to open the door to set yourself free again? So these things do have keys, they do have locks, they're like mazes, but it's based on up here, the labyrinth, the brain. And it's based on the crown chakras and the brow chakra and the base of the skull chakra and the heart and the throat and the vibration rising up behind the thymus. All these things, the higher heart as they call it, all these things work. But we have to exercise them, we have to learn them, we have to study them and apply as we go. Because that's the era of time that we're in now. We're in this era of time where whatever we are acquiring, we have to put into motion. We cannot hold back. Can't. I always say to my meditation students who come out here and study with me on a Saturday, meditation is an excellent thing to use. It's important to go as deep as you can, to go so deep that you're in the chamber called silence, what some people call the holy chamber or the sacred chamber. But here's the key: you can be as deep as you desire, but you still must be aware of the subtleties of your environment. Now, what do I mean by that? You got food on the stove cooking. Don't forget, it's on the stove cooking. Have you been so busy sometimes that you got something cooking and you go outside and then you forget, take a nap outdoors, or you drive away thinking you're remembering it coming back and that thing is in your oven burning up? Don't get that deep. Be deep, but feel across the various layers of your depths of where you find yourself. Be aware. See, we're supposed to be able to walk around and communicate across the various veils of light that is in our immediate surroundings. We're supposed to be able to do that. We're supposed to be able to sense just like animals do, something that is 1,800 miles away from you. You're supposed to be able to sense it, draw on its energy, and know exactly what it is. Now, can I do that? Not all the time. But if I have an emotional connection, and that is important, if you have a feeling, if you have an emotional connection to people like loved ones, very close friends, then you'll be able to sense them. You'll be able to know that person's thinking, that person needs to hear from me. Let me text them, let me call them, let me email them. So, in essence, we can. There are no barriers. There's no walls. It's all energy. And this is important. And people say, well, what if you're doing all of this and you got shards of energy coming from outside the atmosphere, from satellites? Don't worry. You can protect yourself from the satellite because you're telling yourself that you can, which puts you in a source of believing that you can. So you must not like wait on another to carry you there. You must develop it yourself. And sometimes it is good for other people Excuse me for a second. It is good for other people to assist us in this, but the bottom line is you have to do it for yourself. In other words, again, if you're learning how to ride a bike, the person that's teaching you how to ride the bike is not going to be able to ride the bike for you. If a person is teaching you how to walk, that person, when you're a baby, yeah, that person will pick you up for a moment and carry you, but they know it doesn't serve a real purpose if mommy and daddy is picking you up off the floor. Why? Because you have to strengthen the muscles in your legs, and you got to learn how to carry your weight when you walk, step by step, inch by inch. That's how you get stronger. So these things are important. You have been seeking higher consciousness and spiritual enlightenment. See, once you attain spiritual enlightenment, higher consciousness will just keep coming anyway. The scene in your mind is going to change. Everything in the chakra system in your body is going to keep accelerating. It's going to keep magnifying. It's going to keep elevating you, and it's going to keep changing you. Children born after 1985, and I think the late Baba Dick Gregory said this. Children born from 1985 forward have been on this journey for a long time, known as the indigo children, the indigos, about 1985. So you can kind of look at people or generations of people every 20 to 30 years. I get a little confused now from Gen X to Gen Z. I can't keep up with it. But here's the bottom line. Even though one is born within those generational time frames, that doesn't mean they have enlightenment or consciousness. Because if they don't have the basic, as we say in the South, the basic mother wit, which is common sense, you may not know that you could be a Gen X, a Gen Z, or whatever. You may not know that you could be misled easily. Why? Because there's many people out here that are learning how to plant emotional seeds within you. An emotional seed will trigger you to move one way or the other, but you'll realize that you're not really paying attention because you're caught up in emotional things. People from various cultures can be very emotional people. That doesn't mean they're dumb. That doesn't mean they don't know anything. No, they're emotionally sensitive to words, but they're emotionally sensitive to sound, but they're emotionally sensitive to what? Mother Earth. They're emotionally connected to the spirit realm. There's many people out here in opposition to you and I who are using occult sciences. But guess what? I've seen some maps on DC. Now, the brother that set up DC set it up very positively, but I've seen people set up negative maps. So everything on there is about the dark side. Ain't nothing there about the dark side unless you want to be in the dark side. Meaning, if you want to be in that side where you're disrupting the lives of other people. Well, I'm here to tell you the lives is not going to be disrupted anymore. Why? Because too many people on this planet are fully aware of their higher self. They just have not engaged it yet, but they will soon. If you want to see a better world, engage your higher self. Get to know your higher self. Where does your higher self dwell in you? Where does your higher self dwell beyond you? Where does your higher self dwell beyond the atmosphere? Your higher self, my higher self, your next door neighbor's higher self, and the higher self of the animal kingdom, the diva, where do they go? They all go into that space, that energetic realm of consciousness that is infinite, where they get to see themselves in their pure essence, their pure light, their pure beingness, their pure radiation of magnificence and beauty. They said there are many people who have passed on into the light, who are considered advanced civilizations. And they're not coming back here. Well, some of them are here. They haven't revealed themselves to all of us, but they are here. And hopefully, some of them are not making contracts and pacts with people who are trying to control everybody. We don't need that. What we do need is the true beings of light to be present, to make themselves known to each and every one of us. People say, well, maybe you're not ready yet, Brother Francis. Maybe you're not ready yet. I've been ready. I might say, though, I'm getting a little tired of waiting. But I realize it's not so much on the waiting, it's the constant talk. We'll call it mind talk from your mindset. It is the constant heart talk from your heart set. It is the ability to communicate. Keep talking to the elements around you because they're there. And when you reach that right plateau, or out here they call it a mesa, or you reach that correct frequency, then things change. The apocalypse, or the apocalypse, that's what I should say. The apocalypse is the raising of the veil. It's not negativity. It's the raising of the veil and seeing the truth in all beings, in the truth in all matter, in the truth of all the earth, in the truth of every layer that is around us. And when the truth is seen, that which is not true must fall, must disintegrate. Why? Because it's too much light. Infinite light burns up other light that is not true in healing. People say that Anunnaki, they're coming back. Some of them are already here. And they're not the people who are trying to be disruptive either. They'll meet you in your dreams. Akhenaten and Nefertiti and Tutankhamun, they're walking around here all the time, traveling to different lands, observing. And those who are awakened, they communicate with. They'll let you channel them. Why? Because they can be channeled through thousands of people on different frequencies because they have elevated themselves. So these indigos have been here a long time. I think if you read the Celestine Prophecy book by James Redfield, he talks about it in there. He might even suggest that they have been here earlier than 1985. There are many that are here in the 40s and the 50s, 1940s and the 1950s, going up into the mid to late 1970s. They're the indigo children, and then after the indigo is supposed to be the crystal children, and after them it's supposed to be the rainbow. That's the ones that were enlightened all the way up through all the chakra fields to communicate with all souls, no matter where they're at. There are children who are talking about things, and they're not even 8 years of age yet. They're talking, they're drawing, they're communicating. They're not communicating with the invisible friends. They're communicating with real source spirit, real source energy. So we have been presented with the metaphysical, the spiritual, the religious, and occult sciences and studies for so many centuries through various civilizations: the Mayans, the Aztecs, the Moors, the Celts, the Druids, who are also the Moors, Somalians, people from Ghana, people from Tanzania, people from the Congo, people who study the works of Shiva and Shakti, people who have studied many, go from culture to culture, civilization to civilization, teaching the same exact science of the Kundalini and the Shakti power. All these things are valuable, and all these things are being laid out for us right now. All these things are now considered midstream or mainstream, as they call it. There are some things that have not been brought forward yet, only because you're a guardian, you're a protector. So when you're the guardian and the protector, people don't know where you're exactly coming from. Well, they're not supposed to, unless they're on the same frequency as you are. The foundation and backbone of all of these, whether it's metaphysical, spiritual, religious, or occult, or if you want to say tribal, the foundation and backbone to all of these are always prayer and meditation. Being able to dynamically vocalize, verbalize into the ethers, and watch your words bring back other sources of information. Or you're able to meditate so deeply and internalize it, receive it, internalize it, and embrace it, and then issue it forth dynamically through your breath. Let it radiate off your body. Let it become that frequency. So while I'm talking right now, if wherever you might be at, if you got somebody in your family that needs to listen to this, tell them. Tell them, tell them, tell them, tell them, tell them. Tell them to come on through. Tell them to tune in to Facebook, or better yet, on to this is a YouTube channel for Resonant Essentials. You can tell them to type in the at symbol Resonant Essentials 4314, because I'm using their platform right now. And we want to put this information out today because it's highly important. Your higher self resides in your heart and your subconscious mind. So, what we've learned from many sessions that we've had, that prayer and meditation works. It does work. But where does the work take place? It takes place along with your changes from within. This is why it says, well, how long I gotta pray, man? How many days? How many weeks? I have some people sometimes they can be, students, they can be a little uh, impatient because they feel that if they sit down and meditate at least for a week, they're supposed to see something. No, you have a lot of things inside of you that you are supposed to let go of. You have a lot of fears, you have a lot of illusions, you got a lot of falsehoods about what you think meditation is or isn't. See, many people get meditation confused with contemplation. Contemplation means you're bringing your right temple together with your left temple. That means your right brain and your left brain together, and they're co-mingling, and then they start to set off sparks at each other, and they start to communicate with each other, so that your contemplation is balanced, your thinking process is balanced. But then you got to get to a point where you cannot think anymore. You have to begin to feel what you're thinking. So your thoughts in the sky must trickle down like precipitation, like rain, back on the water, back into the lakes of your emotions and your feelings. And then eventually, what's in the water of you must trickle back into what? The earth, the body of you, where your cells can receive it, the bloodstream can receive it, the organs can receive it, right? The nerve system can receive it, the lymph glands can receive it, your eyes, your nose, your mouth, your ears, your throat, your entire being can receive it. It has to come back. This is why people say what you say out will come back. People say, well, I could say something. I can go curse somebody and not be cursed back. No, you can be cursed back. Either the person receives it, knows it's coming from you, and then reciprocates it to you, or when you get off the planet, or you're still on the planet doing other things, and those thoughts are trickling back to you. they find you. They will find you. They got your name on it. They'll come back to you. Traditional or non traditional. The work happens on the inside of us, not on the outside. We're expecting it to take place on the outside, but it's not going to happen on the outside until we see it and honor it on the inside. That means you might have to shed some tears in order to get to that point. You might have to shout and scream before you get to that point, but you don't want to lash out at someone verbally or physically because it's going to bounce back to you because that person is a part of you. That person is also inside of you. So you have to learn how to psychically absorb it in such a way that it doesn't affect you physically and will not linger in your auric field, kind of hit it and bounce off. You don't want to overlook the essentials of your well being. That's important. If you need to rest, sleep. If you need to eat right, eat right. If you need to go for a walk, go for a walk. If you need to do your martial arts training, your Tai Chi Chuan, your yoga, your Gung Fu, your Qigong, you need to do it. Need to ride a bike, swim, you need to do it. Go on a hike, you need to do it. Why? Because your body is calling for it. If you need to work with crystals and gemstones, you need to do it. Your body is calling for it. If you need more potassium, better get some bananas, better get some watermelon, better get some grapes, better get some broccoli, better get some kale, whatever you need, the body's calling for it. But you cannot overlook it. Whenever I use the word prayer, I have some friends back east and they think, well, I don't do no Christian prayer. I'm not talking about that prayer. Why assume that's what I'm talking about? I left that a long time ago. I left the Christian prayer alone. I left the Catholic prayer alone. I left the Protestant prayer alone. The Lutheran prayers alone. The prayer that I'm talking about is the one that you write yourself. You write this from your own heart. You dwell here where the higher self resides, and one of the best places is in your heart. And that's where you write the prayer from. Your prayer is not going to have any these, thous, or thems, and it won't have no thys either. It'll be your words that are connected to certain images in your mind and how you feel about what you're stating, what you're thinking about, than what you write about. So I'm not talking about prayer from the Quran, from the Bible. I'm not talking about prayer from Mary Eddie Baker or Baker Eddie's Christian Science. I ain't talking about that. I'm talking about what comes to you from your higher self, that your higher self wants you to repeat because that's the flavor that it uses. That is the wine of your higher self that will cause it to move from very deep places within yourself. So you can't overlook the use of prayer from you, from your lips, from your heart. I speak of the living prayer. Why? Because you're alive right now. That's why it's a living prayer. Because you're receiving higher wisdoms, higher thoughts, higher feelings, and that's matriculating in you. It's matriculating throughout your brain, it's matriculating through your eyes, your nose, your mouth, your ears, your tongue, surface of touch, through your nerve system, muscle system, bone system, bone marrow. That stuff that's in the bones, that's where your chi is supposed to sit. That's where it's supposed to go eventually, according to masters of Tai Chi Chuan and other martial arts. They say that chi, that ki power, is supposed to emanate from your bone marrow. That makes your bones supple, not hard. That makes your limbs supple, your joints supple, stretchable. It makes your skin come alive again. We have to bring this energy, bring your prayer. When a person beats a conga drum, they have it up against their body or between their legs. Why? So they can feel the vibration. So they beating on those drums so they can feel the vibration. They can have it underneath the armpit and beating with a stick. They need to feel the vibration. That's why it has to touch the body. It's a little different when you're playing electric pianos and electric guitars because you're not feeling. You gotta hear, but you can feel the plunking of the strings. But you still have to be sensitive enough to hear. You can plunk on the piano keys, but you still have to be sensitive enough to feel the vibration come through you from the piano, especially if it's acoustic. So when you become the living prayer, you become your words and actions. You become the embodiment of what you're saying. Because embodiment means you have to hold it. What you're thinking has to be inside of you. It's not to be out. You can't release it yet. That's like a mother can't birth the child unless the child is ready to come out 9 months or 8 months or 7 months or 6 months. I mean, child's ready. They say premature, but the baby's already matured in spirit. We just don't know that yet until you see it, till it activates. We have to say prayers, a living prayer, because it's you in your own words. Our prayers should be intentional. That means when you intend a thing to be, it shall become that thing because you're describing it as it is, as you see it. That's what makes an artist good from a beginning artist because the artist is able to put you in the picture. It's texture of shade and shadow, of a contour line, the outside of an object. The lighting and all of that can put you in the picture. If the colors are just right, it'll draw you into the picture. You'll have that memory flash up in your mind when you saw the reflection of trees from the autumn time on a lake, and it reminds you of being in a similar location. Same with music. Same with dance. Same with photography. Our prayers should be intentional, meaning we know that what we are saying is what? The truth. It's not something beyond us, it is the truth. Hey there, my friend Melanie. Let me say hello again to Rose Jefferson, to Holly Hemmett, to Melanie. We're talking about the higher self today. Get some water. Your higher self resides in your heart. I'm talking about your spiritual heart, the heart center, the heart chakra, and your subconscious mind. Your subconscious mind is housed in your brain, but guess what? It's throughout your entire body. Your heart's throughout your entire body too. The chakra force, the brain force, is through your entire body. It's not just trapped in one area. So our prayer should be intentional, meaning we know what we are saying is truth. Our meditation moments are real and will be connected to our real self, which is the higher self. When we say the word reality, I think Dr. Reverend Michael Bernard said this. He says, you're not living in a world of reality because reality is sort of like the imitation of the real you. What he was saying was just our terminology. In fact, ity is a suffix that means the state of or the condition of real. So when you think of I'm in a state of reality, you must ask yourself what condition or state of mind is it in physically. That's why we gotta avoid having clutter around us. The clearer a place is, the easier for the energy to flow, and therefore the easier it is to absorb the energy. Or use better discernment with energy is around yourself. So when we speak a word, we're speaking something into existence. You're claiming it to be, or you know it's already there, and you're claiming it to be there. In other words, you put a tag on it. You know it's there. When you know that something is real, that means it's like you. You're real. You're not fake. People go fake news, false news. Well, the first and foremost news is you're real. That's the first and foremost news. Your environment should be real to you. That's the second. You spoke it into existence. That's the third. You could feel it. That's the fourth. You now know it. That's the fifth level. In other words, whatever you say you are, that's what you become. The late Reverend Ike used to say, whatever you say after the words, I am, you shall become. He said, if you're not feeling well, he said, it's okay. You can acknowledge that. But if you want to speed up the healing in your body, even though you're not feeling well, you must tell yourself numerous times so that you're convincing yourself numerous times so that the subconscious mind, which is the reflection of the universe in you, can receive it, can receive the truth. So if I'm not feeling well today, I still have to muster up. I still have to go within and say, I'm going to feel all right. But then that's like futuristic. So then I have to say, I feel all right right now. I feel all right right now. I feel good right now. It's important because the more that I can say in the now time, the better and the stronger I shall be within this present moment. I don't have to wait for my strength to accumulate. I'm already strong. I'm just getting stronger because I'm stating it again and again and again. You must come to the realization that you are the higher self. There used to be a TV show on Sunday nights, and they would have three people trying to stump, trying to fool a celebrity cast of about maybe four people. Now, if the person amongst the three could fool you, two of them out of the three could fool you into thinking that they're actually the real person, they won some money. In fact, all of them would win some money. But if one person would just stand up to tell the truth, the other two pretending to be that person must be convincing that they are that person. And then the panel of celebrities would have to ask the questions. And hopefully, depending on how the people state who they think they are and who is, would determine the person who would get the most scores, who would get the yes or the no. It is the same when we are speaking into the ethers. We are trying to say something that we know is true. We know it's true because we're the ones speaking the truth. But you're going to have an audience of people who don't believe in what you're saying. And they can emotionally make you change your mind. But if you're very strong on who you are, no matter what they say or do, it's not going to convince you to tell a lie about yourself. You can only speak the truth of who you are. You see, we have to realize that we are the higher self, we are the God within, we are omnipotent, meaning all powerful, omnipotent, all powerful, that we are the one who's with omnipresence. Mean we have a presence that doesn't go anywhere. The presence within doesn't die out. The presence within cannot be killed, cannot be shattered, cannot be broken, cannot be manipulated, because it is real. When it's real, it is true self and nothing else. It only speaks truth about itself. We are personifying this phrase. All that was, is, and evermore shall be. No, it never changed. The truth never changed about who we are. We know when Mother Earth is ready to, quote unquote, buck us off like a wild steer. Why? Because it's going to balance itself. And people say, well, how you know? You know, people come here to Albuquerque and out west they see old volcanic hills. But that was millions of years ago. That doesn't, and billions of years ago. That doesn't mean it's going to erupt now. In fact, we don't even feel it as an eruption. We just see it as the earth communicating. Earth telling us Hey, I need you to make an adjustment. Hey, I need you to reorganize your apartment or your house or your property. Hey, I need you to take better care of the animals under your roof. Hey, I need you to smile at them, hug them, talk to them, treat them with unconditional love because they're there serving you. Hmm. This is what I'm hearing. What I'm hearing right now is that all of us who are present are in this moment to receive these teachings because you've been thinking about it for a long time. Neville Goddard, the late Neville Goddard in the 30s and the 40s, used to teach think from the end. You're looking for the end result. So he's saying think from the end, like a math problem, logic and sense sets. We go to the end, we see the exact image that we want to achieve. And then he says, if you think from the end, you'll see each step that brought you to that last scene in your mind. They do that in math course called logic and sets. They'll use three dots as a triangle. That means, therefore, this is true. And then you write what the statement is. Sometimes they teach you how to go from the beginning, give you three steps from the beginning, and then you have to logically create the next step, fourth, and the fifth, and the sixth, and the seventh, all the way down to number 8, 9, 10, 11, or 12. You have to be able to think the thought process out very clearly. Sometimes they put stuff in the middle. They give you the first, second, and the third step, and then in the middle, somewhere down there, 8 or 9, they'll give you that. You got to figure out how to get there logically. That's what they call it, logic and sets. There's the upper and the lower. At some point, there's three levels. They got to start to overlap. They got to start to share the same teaching, the same thought, the same feeling for it to make sense. I remember when I took one during the summer right after high school going into college, before I went to Bard College. I was at Nassau Community College on Long Island. And I took logic and sets because it's like art. You can't just lay down any color. You just can't paint what's in the forefront without painting logically what's in the background first. And it took me a long time to know that. I used to just make the contour and then color it in. But that didn't make sense. I had to learn that you got to lay in the background first. You got to act like you don't see any boulders, trees, or mountains. You got to lay in the background first. You got to act like you don't see any shrubbery or you don't know there's a river up front or a lake or a house or farm. You have to exclude that in your mind and paint the background. Then you bring it forward. Then once you start bringing the background forward, then you put the things that are in between your sight physically and all the way back and on the horizon. Then you got to bring all of that forward with trees and shrubs and cattle and horses and old cars on the road and people and homes and all the way to the front. You have to feel the background to the foreground. The late Reverend Ike used to say, God is within. The God that you're seeking is within. And the one you are praying to anyway is within. He also used to say that your feeling, both said that your feeling will bring everything you desire into fruition, into the present tense, whatever you're feeling about what you're talking about. Reverend Ike, he was kind of hip teacher. He used to say, let the feeling get the blessing. If you feel right about something, it's going to come. There's a sports figure, Deion Sanders, called himself Coach Prime, up there in Colorado. He's trying to turn those young men into having the faith in themselves to know that what they're about to do will always take care of their family. When they do that, they can have that experience. Excuse me. So, Our subconscious mind is our mini universe. Our subconscious mind is our mini, MINI, universe. It is waiting for us to make our deposits. Now, the thing is, we're depositing into the subconscious mind 24/7. If you're worrying about something, that's a deposit because your feeling is getting connected to the thoughts, the words, and the energy of the words and the images that are connected with the words. And now your emotions, what you're feeling about it, gets there, whether you feel it's good or not good, or you're going to win or you're going to lose, or you're going to be angry or not angry, or you feel like smacking somebody. All that stuff is in there, see? It's in the feeling. And if the feeling outweighs the thought, then it's going to materialize into the physical world. It's waiting for us to make our deposit. Our higher self is the God mind of infinite thoughts and knowing of infinite life streams. That, yes, you've heard of it. Quantum leaping. You've heard of it. I spoke about it numerous times over the past year or so. There's these different life streams beyond the one that we're living right now, beyond the one that we see in the news. You know, sometimes news is delayed by 30 seconds. Have you ever watched on TV a sporting event, turn on a radio to the station where the radio people are at in the stadium, and you will see a delayed reaction anywhere from 3 seconds, 10 seconds, to almost 30 seconds. On TV, you'll see a guy hit a baseball. On the radio, you'll catch it about 3 seconds later. Pop, the guy hit a ball. But you're looking at the guy trying to steal second base. And then 3 seconds later, oh, so and so is trying to steal second base. Delayed reaction. Everything around us is delayed, except for truth. Truth will show itself right away. And once you see it, you cannot unsee it. So this is very important. Our higher self is the God mind of infinite thoughts and knowing of infinite life streams. We do not have to accept anything less than our true divine self. That means don't let somebody turn you around. Don't let somebody tell you you can't achieve something. Don't let somebody tell you, oh, you're not going to ever win the lottery. They ain't going to win the lottery. You're the one seeking to win. And if you start winning in bits and pieces and add it up over the years, you realize you've won a lot. And one day you'll get it in a lump sum, or you'll get something that leads you to that point. It is time to awaken from our slumber, awaken from receiving false news reports about who we truly are. Many people online will tell you, different households, they had a grandparent or grandparent that mistreated them, their mom and dad mistreated them, told them they would never amount to anything. They've had some siblings that were jealous, some cousins that were jealous that told them they would never amount to anything. And for some moment in time, they began to believe it because they didn't see things work out in the way that they hoped and that they wanted to. But the people that stuck to it, that got together with someone who appreciated who they were, a husband or a wife who became a better husband and a better wife, a son or a daughter who became better sons and daughters, a business partner who became a better business partner. Those people that were walked on, stepped on, spat on, kicked around, those people, if they ever survived, they took off. I watched a boxing match this weekend between this guy who's known as the Pride of Omaha, Nebraska. He's known as Terrence Bud Crawford, and he fought a guy from Mexico who was the face of boxing, named Canelo Alvarez. And Terrence Crawford had to rise 2 weight classes to get to where he was. But guess what? Terrence Bud Crawford, after 12 rounds, he didn't knock him out. He scored on boxing points. In other words, He blocked every punch this guy threw. A few of them got through. But see, the nature of a boxer is, yeah, I'm going to hit, but I'm going to be hit. So once the boxer is accustomed to being hit with the best shot, because they said this guy was supposed to hit him hard enough to knock him down, but it didn't happen because that person was aware of opportunity. Bud Crawford. Bud Crawford has never lost the bout. Never lost. The guy, he only had 40 winning fights and so many knockouts, not any draws, no losses. The other guy had won 63 fights, had 2 draws. He had over 40 some odd knockouts himself and 2 losses. But he was fighting a guy that had no losses. The guy that had 63 had been fighting professionally since he was 15. The other guy, some 20 years, 40 years of age. So here's the deal. They both believed that they could win, but one had a plan that they could win. See, some people know from study. And the guy that won, he said, I didn't study any films because I knew who I knew myself. And I always figure it out. And he figured out the other guy. And he won unanimously. But why am I bringing that up? We have to step beyond belief. We have to know who we are. And today, if you don't know, today I woke up with this thought. Yesterday I went to bed thinking this way. We are the higher self. Our subconscious mind is a mini reflection of the universe. And the universe is waiting for us to make these deposits. We're making these deposits all the time. We're thinking all the time. We're feeling all the time. Even what we're not wanting to think or feel about is getting deposited in there. But we got to keep making deposits until the overflow kicks in. When the overflow kicks in, then the cornucopia begins, the horn of plenty, the universe giving back everything that we gave to it, giving it back clearly to ourselves. We do not have to accept anything less than our true divine self, our real self, the higher self. It is time to awaken, I said, from a slumber. Awaken from the false news reports about yourself. Let us step beyond doubts, illusions, and fears. Time to create a new you. And we'll say it again. Time to create a new you. And realize there are plenty of new yous living all at once in new realms. See, that's the thing. People say, well, how can that be true? Well, when you go to sleep and dream at night, you're just not dreaming about this world. Sometimes you're saying to me, I'm feeling these other things. Is that true? Yeah. You're poking around as the higher self in other realms. You're living whole lives similar to this one and different from this one. You just got to make up your mind which ones you're going to go in and out of more frequently. Which ones radiate best with you of who you are and how you can cross over, how you got the key to unlock the door to get into the next life stream and pull on it and make it materialize into this one. In other words, make it blend or bleed into this one. The more we start to do it, the more we start to understand it, the more we start to believe it, the more we start to realize, hey, I am my higher self, nothing less, then we will see the world around us change. That means everything we see in the news will fade away. Everything we hear about, the so-called wars, will fade away. Will they exist? They will, but not at a higher frequency because you're releasing higher frequency energy and they will receive it 1,800 miles away, 3,200 miles away, 10,000 miles. But they'll like, in the midst of battle, like, I don't feel like doing this. I don't feel like carrying this pack of stuff on my back. I don't feel like shooting my neighbor. I don't feel like shooting somebody I don't even know and trying to kill. Oh, I could push this red button, but I ain't going to push it. Oh, I'm down here in the shadow government. I'm not going to play out something negative. I'm going to play out something positive. Why? Because I can. We're going to create a new you today. Today is the now time to shift your reality into a real you. There's no more doubt about asking ourselves, am I this real? Yes. You're not no longer you're going to be the condition of realness. You're going to be the realness. You're not going to in other words, you're not going to accept any low vibrations about yourself, whether you have them or someone else has them. Now's your time to shift your reality into a real you. Build a new dream now, and let's pull it into now. Let's pull it into place right now. So, what I'm going to do with you is a special creative path work meditation. It can be found in its fullness in my book, Radiant Heart: The Seven Amazing Pathways to Connect, Activate, and Communicate with Your Higher Self. And I'm going to read it from the book so that you get it. The Golden Light Meditation contains the gold combined with yellow tinted flame. This is on page 44. This is where this begins in my book. It is used to strengthen the entire body, mind, spirit matrix. Most of the time, it is used to strengthen the bridge or the conduit of communication between the body and mind, along with the cells. The cells within are highly important right now. Every organ in your body is on a time schedule where after 3 months, 6 months, 12 months, 8 months, 9 months, it's always replicating a new it, renewing itself. It has been used to connect with what is known as the gold diamond body in the higher realms. So, where are these higher realms? They're over us, etherically and ethereal, ethereal. They're around us. We have to begin to tune in. When you become more sensitive, then you will feel this energy emanating through your solar plexus. So many of you will say, I got an upset stomach. What's going on? It's not something that you ate. You're not necessarily detoxing. It's the golden light diamond body coming into play within you. As it begins to engulf your entire body's auric field, it contains and corrects your ego so that you are no longer disconnected from the divine source. Isn't that amazing? The golden diamond body, once you understand it's in your solar plexus, preparing you to no longer be disconnected from divine source. The divine source, or I am presence, or the God within you, you will no longer be disconnected. First, we pay attention to our heart center, which is located in the center of the sternum and behind that spot. So go there now. The center of your sternum, behind there, is your physical heart, but overlapping it is your spiritual heart, your heart chakra. My metaphysical and spiritual teachings are all heart centered. So if you take this journey with me right now, I want you to take it from your heart. So your heart will fill up like a fountain. Your heart will fill up like a stream, a waterfall. It'll fill up all your other chakras for you. Excuse me. The heart center is the bridge between the upper and lower worlds. Each energy center is always pulsating with energetic flames of light. I am going to reveal to you that the seven and 9 cycles of breathing systems are best. That means you're counting to 7 full inhalations and exhalations. They're the best to use. And if you want to become more advanced, you can step into 13. They work. Now they're pulsating and reveal to you the 7 and the 9 cycles of breathing systems are best, as these give just strength, just enough time for you to notice that you're acclimating yourself to a field of light. The light is already there, it didn't go anywhere. As you begin to take your time, you will notice a subtle shift of energy occurring within the electromagnetic auric field. Our auric field is electric, sends out, and receives magnetic. This particular field of energy is about 2 to 3 inches or 6 inches on top of your skin. Can you imagine 6 inches? This is a distance from my index finger to my tip of my thumb. That's about 6 inches, pretty close to it. Up there, that's 12. Eventually, you will feel this sensation, and you can get it if you do this as if it was a pink or violet light as well. It becomes greatly enhanced. Also, if you knew or activate the white light meditation. So we start paying attention with 100% awareness. What does 100% awareness means? That's mindfulness. So place your mindfulness into that spot, that center of your sternum, and go into the sternum until you know you're on the heart. Go into the center of the physical heart. And then from there, give forth a plasmic light, a plasmic light of a white energy that's turning gold. Now, what you're doing is you're building up the vibrational frequencies from inside first. So your heart is going to palpitate, it's going to beat. You're not disrupting it though. You're putting 100% of your attention into it. And if you do it, you can feel it. Put your finger on the outside by your neck. And you'll feel the pulsation there. You can put it on your wrist. You can feel the pulsation there. See, the heart is the motherboard energy. The heart is the actual organ that controls the entire system. Therefore, it controls your brain. Now, I want you to get into a place now where you're going to be very comfortable in your seating. I want you to relax. If you could do this with headsets, it's equally best because then you don't have to fidget with your phone or put it close enough to you so you can hear. Or you're on your computer, right? And you can turn up the volume, you could hear. So continue with your deep breathing, keeping your awareness in the center of your sternum. I want you to breathe evenly, gently, and quietly. So each cycle of breath is one inhalation with an exhalation, and you're not holding your breath. This is what I need you now to begin to do. And also, while you're breathing this way, I want you to envision, go with a vision on the inside. That's what envision means. Envision the flames, the gentle, soft flames of a golden light gently appearing through your breath and in your auric field. Now, you know what it feels like when you take a shower, right? When you're taking a shower, you can feel the water trickling down your face and your head, front back of the body, shoulders, if you want, onto your legs, hands, arms, feet. Whatever that sensation is, it is the same with a pulsation of a gold and white light on and in your body. Take a moment and reflect. Remember what it's like when you take a shower. The water pouring down onto you is a golden white light, a gentle and soft flame. That's what's happening. And this gentle and soft flame that's coming down upon you must first capture the energy known as the crown right here. That little part where the back meets the begins to meet the front and the sides, the crown chakra. Now, this is what you're going to do. We're going to count 7 cycles first, starting right now. 1. Remember, cycles inhaling and exhaling. And you don't have to pause. 2, 3, you're inhaling. 4, you're inhaling. 5, you're inhaling. 6, you're inhaling. 7, you're inhaling. 8, you're inhaling. 9, you're inhaling. Now just take a moment, inhaling through the nose, releasing the breath through the mouth a few times, 2 or 3. And this time, from here on out, you're going to count to a 9. So when you reach 9, you just start over again in your count from 1 to 9. Starting right now, inhale, exhale. Second time, inhale. Now I want you to quietly do that for yourself. Because now I want you to shift from the heart into the heart, right up into your crown. You don't have to come out of the heart. Just focus your awareness from the top of the center and the top of the heart and position your awareness on the crown. Do your 9 breaths right there. Now, while you're doing this, keeping the breathing flowing into 9 cycles of inhalation, exhalation, not holding the breath at the top of the inhalation nor at the base of the exhalation. Prepare yourself to envision a soft, gentle, golden flame coming right through in your mind from the top of your head. Taking your time. You might even see it or feel it, but it's there. It's always there. These points of light are always there. We just tune into them. Now, as you exhale, imagine this flame descending like a shower all around your body. You're bathing in particles of a golden white light. This is the diamond body, the golden white light. And you know that it is soothing and relaxing to you, it's not creating any stiffness. It's trickling down your body. These sparkle lights of golden white light. You keep breathing, striving to get 9 cycles of breath in, all the way down. And then you shift your awareness onto your solar plexus and you complete 9 more there. So you started in the heart 9, got up to the crown 9, that's 18, back down through the heart into the solar plexus, that's 27 breaths. And you just lay in that light, just keep breathing. Now, some of you may ask, do I have to return to the heart? Only go there if your higher self is telling you to. If your higher self says, let's repeat the process, then repeat the process. If your higher self says, from the solar plexus, let us climb back into the heart center and remain there in this exercise, then you do that. Your body contains its very own memory system as it's connected to what? Your subconscious mind. So not only you're in the etheric realm of your body, you're inside these chakras, but you're also playing this energy as a memory bank inside your subconscious mind. Now, you don't have to think about it, just let it be now because you unlocked the door, you've established something, and the rhythm is taking place. Now, the length of time that you would actually do this is about 20 to 30 minutes. And then all you have to do is journal the exercise. So if you have this book, you'll start at page 44 in the book, and it'll take you to page 45, 46, and that's it. 3 pages. You can come back here and experience it. I want to thank you so much for joining me today. We're finally back on Resident Essentials YouTube channel at Resident Essentials 4314. That is the link to come on here. Thank you so much for your time. If you're ever out here in Albuquerque, New Mexico, please dial up Resident Essentials Esoteric School of Metaphysics. You can go to the website at www.residentessentials.com. You can also go to my website that I have, which is www.circleofgrace with the number 1 at the end .us/. Go to www.circleofgrace1.us/. That keeps it from bouncing all over the place. And you could see what I got going on. I was supposed to have a 5-point creative pathwork system course, 6-week online course. You can still join it. If you go to the website, you can read about it. Creative pathwork, meditation, 5-point creative pathwork system. And you're going to learn in the course, you'll learn about affirmations, prayers, affirmative prayers, meditation, and decree, the importance of those 5 vessels. Now, if you don't get a chance to sign up, here's a treat, and I mentioned it on the website. Sometime by the end of November, I will have created a 6-part video series called 5-Point Creative Pathwork System, trademark system. So if you can't take the course, you can buy the videos, 6 of them. Thank you for your time. I'm Brother Francis E. Revels-Bey. I'm the founder and podcast host here for Clear Blue Radiance. I'm the founder of the Circle of Grace One. I look forward to seeing you here again next week. Maybe we won't start so late. We'll start a little earlier. I'm going to give a shout out to Rose Jefferson for tuning in, to Holly Hemmett for tuning in, to Melanie Hall for tuning in today. And I should, before I sign off, put this title here, right? So people know uh, they're at the right one. So let me come down here and type it in here today. Thank you so much for coming in. You can tell all your friends they can come here and check it out again because they can. It's free. I'm going to start putting out more things because, after all, I like doing what I'm doing and I like to give as much as I can to all of you. So stand by and make sure that you're getting this information while you can get it. Because we see a lot of things happening in our world. It's not really our world, it's somebody else's. But we don't have to participate in craziness, right? That's not us because we're seeking better opportunities, better light. I'm going to put today's date in here as well. And I hope to see you all really soon. All right. I'm out of here. Almost 90 minutes. Ooh, that's a lot. Bye, everybody. See you next time. Hope you have a great rest of your day, a great rest of your evening, a great tomorrow, and a great Saturday. I know for Melanie, it's already Friday. She's ahead of us. Nonetheless, everybody enjoy yourself. Take care. Oh, my grace is your grace. Until next time, remember that divine grace is a blessing as we're alive and well in the age of remembrance. All right. Now we're gone.